Hey there, design cutters! Renee here with a tutorial for a flower show poster. We'll create everything in Photoshop using a vast array of floral elements, textures, layer masks, and blend modes. Follow along by downloading the freebie pack at designcuts.com. Open Photoshop and go to File New. In the New Document dialog box, name your file, then enter a width of 18 inches and a height of 24 inches. Set your resolution to 300 ppi and your color mode to RGB, then press OK. We'll start with a background texture. Go to File, Place Linked, and navigate to Background 08 in the Freebies folder. Press Place, then hold Shift and use the corner handles to increase the size until it fills the entire artboard. Press Enter to complete the placement. We'll add a little extra color to the corners. Go to File, Place Linked, and navigate to Vignette 4 in the True Grit Texture Supply folder. Press Place. Hover over the corner handle, hold Shift, then click and rotate to the right 90 degrees. Then use the corner handles to increase the size of the grit texture until it fills the artboard to the edges. Press Enter when you're done. At the bottom of the Layers palette, click the FX icon and choose Color Overlay. For blend mode, choose Screen. Click on the color swatch to bring up the color picker. Enter RGB values of 176, 206, 213, then click OK. Next, click on Blending Options. Under Advanced Blending, turn on Blend Interior Effects as Group, then click OK. At the top of the Layers palette, change the blend mode to multiply and the opacity to 60%. Now go to File, Place Linked, and navigate to Big Ben in the Freebies folder. Then press Place. At the top left of the artboard, enter a width of 200%, then click the link icon between width and height to constrain aspect ratio. Press Enter when done, and position Big Ben in the bottom right corner of the artboard. Now we'll roughly mask out the edges of the Big Ben watercolor so we can see our background texture. At the bottom of the Layers palette, click the Add Layer Mask icon. Press D to make your foreground color white and your background color black, then press X to toggle the color so that black is the foreground color. Select your brush tool. At the top left of the artboard, click on the arrow next to the brush thumbnail image and choose the brush named Watercolor Loaded Wet Flat Tip. To easily see brush names, click the Settings icon at the top right of the Brush Preset Picker palette. In the Flyout menu, choose Large List. Increase the size of the brush to 2000 pixels by pressing the right bracket key on your keyboard several times. Then start brushing the white areas around Big Ben. As you paint, they'll be masked out. Fortunately, the nature of the watercolor in the background make it so we don't need to be precise at all. Stay pretty loose and leave a rough white edge around Big Ben. As you get closer to it, pick your brush up frequently to mask areas out with rough edges. At the bottom of the Layers palette, click the Create a New Group icon. Double-click the name and rename it Text. We're going to use two fonts that are available for free online, Oriel and Eurofurence. Select your Type tool. Click once on the top left of the artboard and type, in all caps, London, then press Enter and type Flower Show. In your toolbar, select your Move tool. Open your character palette and change the font to Eurofurence at 70 point. Set the leading, the vertical space between lines, to 65 point. Set the tracking, the horizontal space between letters, to 380. Click the color thumbnail and enter RGB values of 203, 16, 9. Use your type tool to highlight just the top line of text. In the character palette, change the font to Oriel Bold. And change the size to 130 point, then set the tracking back to 0. Notice that the style of the top font forces the word over to the right so it doesn't appear to line up with Flower Show. We have an easy way to adjust that. Open your paragraph palette. With London still selected, enter -12 point for indent left margin. Now we'll give London a hint of the watercolor look. Go to File, Place Linked, and navigate to 08 in the Every Tuesday freebie folder, then press Place. Use the corner handles to increase the size until it's just a touch wider than London. Position it over the letters and press Enter. In the Layers palette, hold Command and click on the T on the London Flower Show text layer to create a selection around the text. Release Command and click once on the 08 layer to make sure it's the active layer. At the bottom of the Layers palette, click the Add Layer Mask icon. At the top of the Layers palette, change the opacity to 70%. Now select your Type tool and click once above the show title. Type The Royal Horticultural Society Presents. In the character palette, change the font to Eurofurence Regular at 40 point. Change leading to auto and tracking to 0. Click on the color swatch and enter RGB values of 50, 70, 95. Then align this with the left side of the title that we've already put in. Now select your Type tool and click below the title. Type September 24th through 25th, 2017. Fall Florals in Bloom in all caps. Press Enter twice, then type International Horticulture Exhibit. Enter Competition for Flowers, Plants, and Vegetables. Enter Children's Garden. Enter Plant Sale. Enter Tea Room. Then press Enter twice and type For entry fees and exhibit info, contact the Royal Horticultural Society at 020-7946-0244 or visit designcuts.com. In the character palette, set the font to Eurofurence Regular at 40 point and set the leading to 50 point. Tracking should still be 0. Use your Type tool to select the first 2 lines, the date and subtitle, and change the font size to 50 point. Next, use the Type tool to select the last paragraph with contact info. Change the font size to 30 point and the leading to auto. Position so the text lines up with the left side of the title. Now we'll create a border around our poster using a mix of bright floral illustrations. Create a new group and name it Florals. Go to File, Place Linked, and navigate to F3 in the Eclectic Anthology Freebies folder. Press Place. Position in the top right corner of the artboard and press Enter. Make sure to drag it into the Florals folder. Go to File, Place Linked again. Navigate to 01 in the Freebies folder, and press Place. Position at the top left of the artboard so it's just peeking in from the corner. Press Enter when you're done. Now we'll give our rose some leaves to lay on. Go to File, Place Linked, and navigate to Leafy Floral Elements 22 in the Octopus Artist folder. Press Place. At the top of the artboard, enter a rotation of -30 degrees. Press Enter, then position so that several leaves stick out just past the rose. In the Layers palette, drag the Leafy Floral Elements 22 layer below the 01 layer. Next, we'll fill out the bottom corners. Go to File, Place Linked, and navigate to Floral Botanicals 3-5 in the Eclectic Anthology folder. Press Place. At the top of the artboard, enter 140% next to width. Then click the link icon between width and height to constrain aspect ratio. Position the flower in the bottom right corner. Go to File, Place Linked, and select EAGF 96. Press Place. At the top of the artboard, enter a rotation of -25 degrees, and press Enter. Then position the tulips on the far right, just above the last flower we placed. In the Layers palette, drag this layer below the Floral Botanicals 3-5. Now go to File, Place Linked, and select EAFF41, and press Place. At the top of the artboard, set the rotation to 28 degrees. Press Enter, then position at the bottom left side of the artboard. Go to File, Place Linked, and select EAFF9 and press Place. Position at the bottom left side of the artboard, just barely bleeding off both the left and bottom edges. Now we'll go to File, Place Linked, and select EAFL5 and press Place. At the top of the artboard, enter 120% next to width, then click the link icon to constrain aspect ratio. Next to the rotation icon, enter -90 degrees. Press Enter, then position at the bottom right of the artboard. In the Layers palette, select the Leafy Floral Elements 22 layer. Drag it down to the Create a New Layer icon to duplicate it. Go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. Use your Move tool to drag the leaf to the bottom of the artboard, poking out from the left side of the small blue flowers. To create a little longer look to the branch, we'll give it a slight rotation. Go to Edit, Transform, Rotate. At the top of the artboard, enter a rotation of about 13 degrees and press Enter. Go to File, Place Linked, and navigate to Leafy Floral Elements 18 in the Octopus Artist folder. Press Place. At the top of the artboard, enter a width of 120% and click the link icon to maintain aspect ratio. Enter a rotation of negative 135 degrees. Position at the bottom left of the artboard so just a little peeks out on the right side of the mushrooms. In the Layers palette, drag the Leafy Floral Elements 18 layer down to the Create a New Layer icon to duplicate it. Go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. Use your Move tool to drag the duplicate to the left of the original. In the Layers palette, drag the duplicate layer down to the Create a New Layer icon. On the artboard, use your Move tool to drag the new copy just behind the orange flower in the bottom right corner. Go to Edit, Transform, Rotate. At the top of the artboard, enter a rotation of 50 degrees, then press Enter. Now go to File, Place Linked, and navigate to EAGF 94 in the Eclectic Anthology folder and press Place. At the top of the artboard, enter a width of 140% and click the link icon to maintain aspect ratio. Position on the far right edge of the artboard between the tulips and roses. Then press Enter. In the Layers palette, drag the layer we just placed down to the bottom of the group below the F3 layer. Now we'll mask out a few pieces so Big Ben doesn't get hidden behind too many flowers. In the Layers palette, select the F3 layer in the Florals group. At the bottom of the Layers palette, click the Add Layer Mask icon. Now select the Big Ben layer. Grab your Magic Wand tool, and on the artboard, click on the white area around Big Ben to create a selection. Go to Select Inverse. In the Layers palette, select the white layer mask thumbnail on the F3 layer. Press D, then X to make your foreground color black. Select your brush tool and choose the hard round brush. Brush over the top steeple of Big Ben. Press Command D when you're done to deselect. Now we'll mask out part of the purple flowers on the right side using the same process. In the Layers palette, select EAGF 94. Click the Add Layer Mask icon at the bottom of the Layers palette. Select the Big Ben layer in the Layers palette. On the artboard, choose your Magic Wand tool and click the white area around Big Ben, then go to Select Inverse. In the Layers palette, click on the white layer mask thumbnail on the EAGF 94 layer. Select your brush tool and brush over the right side of Big Ben where it interacts with the purple flowers. Press Command D when you're done to deselect. I'm going to adjust the positioning of my text just a little bit here. The left edge of Big Ben seems to end somewhat abruptly with how we've placed it, so we'll add a little area of watercolor that trails off the edge. In the Layers palette, select the Big Ben layer, then click the Create a New Layer icon. Double-click the layer name and rename it Extra Watercolor. Select your brush tool. Click on the brush thumbnail at the top left of the artboard. In the flyout menu, select the Watercolor Loaded Wet Flat Tip brush. Change the opacity to 30%. Press your right bracket key on your keyboard several times to increase the size to 500 pixels. Hold Option to turn your cursor into an eyedropper. Use the eyedropper to sample a blue color from the left edge of the Big Ben painting. Release Option and start painting to the left of Big Ben. To create a modeled watercolor look, use a single click and release method instead of dragging. You can also vary the size of the brush on the fly using the left and right bracket keys on your keyboard. Press Option again and sample a different color. The grayer color below the blue, maybe a little bit of the greenish color. Then brush the new colors on top of what we've already created. Vary the color and size of your brush and gradually build up the color on the left side. If you don't like what you've done or you feel it's too dark, select your eraser tool and set the opacity very low. Brush over the watercolor brush strokes to gradually lighten the color. We'll finish up by making a few small adjustments. To move a piece that's been masked without moving the mask, just click the link icon on the layer, then select the artwork thumbnail and move as needed. And we're done here. We've created a beautiful, bright flower show poster by layering gorgeous floral elements with watercolors and texture. I don't have a green thumb, but I'm pretty sure I can fake it as long as I have this bundle. Whether it's your outcome for this tutorial or something new, head over to our Facebook page and share it with us. Let us know what you think in the comments below and give us a thumbs up if you like the tutorial. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/designcuts to get more video tutorials and regular updates, or visit us at designcuts.com. Thanks for watching. Till next time.